Okay. Here we go. Morning, guys. Just let me know if you're here, if you're present at home in the chat. Okay. Today is going to be mostly working independently. We have quite a bit of content to get through, but I'll let you go at your own pace. So like how you guys want to break it down, what you want to do in learning block 1, what you want to do in learning block 2, totally up to you. I'll let you know what we're going to attempt to cover today, which is quite a bit, and then you can kind of break it down however you'd like. I have some recommendations, but so that was the end of Unit 2, by the way, which was genetic processes. Whew, that's a lot. So that's normally like we've done like the first 2.5 months basically of the course, what we would normally cover in 2.5 months. So that's good for you. You made it through. Like I realize it's a lot of stuff. It comes at you real fast. I mean, we're getting there, so like we're on track to finish the course on time, or hopefully. I think most people are with me, so that's okay. If you find that you're like getting off track and starting to fall behind, let's chat. Let's talk about some strategies you could potentially use to reduce the workload a little bit. One thing that I've told some people is that like a lot of the videos are from YouTube, like not my videos, but like the other videos are about 80% summary of what we've already covered, plus a little bit of extra. So if you're like, I can't get through all this material, like I'm really falling behind, that would be one place where you could potentially skip. Okay, I'm not saying the videos aren't good or important. They are. They're good summaries, and oftentimes they have better animations than I do to explain concepts, and they just have a better way of explaining the same concept with great visualizations that I don't have access to. So I do recommend them. I watched them, and I thought they were helpful. But if you're really falling behind, that might be a place where you might want to cut them out. Now that's not as good of a strategy today because this time the videos are me. So don't skip these ones. These are the lessons. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So in an effort here to try and get some marks together for you, I've pre-recorded my lessons. Some of them are from last semester. So just keep in mind when you're watching them, sometimes I refer to things from last semester. I talk about how, you know, there's really no deadlines. I talk a little bit about like how like, you know, don't worry about whether you can get this done or not or whatever. That's really referencing last semester where we had sort of like a different system we were operating under. Whereas like this year, as far as I can tell, like we're doing everything like that we normally would. All the expectations are the same. So you can kind of just ignore all that stuff. However, all of the content stuff is exactly the same. So, I mean, the videos are still good, they're valid, but they just, you can just kind of skip over that part of it. So we are going to start a new unit today. We have to get about a quarter of the way through that unit today, which seems ridiculous. It's our last day of this block, but it's not like a free day or anything. Like I have a ton of stuff I have to cover today. So today we're going to get into animal systems. Typically in this unit, we cover 3 major animal systems, which are the respiratory system, the digestive system, and the circulatory system. We're going to start with digestive system this time. Once we've done those 3 and examined them in detail, and you guys may have done it to some extent in grade 10. Did you talk about these systems already? Maybe a little bit, like depending on what you did in grade 10. So we're going to get into a lot more detail. For example, last year you might have talked about the parts of the digestive system and maybe a little bit about what they do. This year we're going to do that again. So we're going to talk about the parts of the digestive system, but we're going to get into the detail of like what enzymes does each part produce? Okay, what is an enzyme? Where do specific macromolecules from your food actually get broken down? What do they get broken down into? Where do they get absorbed? What are the names of the enzymes that are produced in each location? You know, that kind of stuff, okay? So it's a lot more detail. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for the notes package for this, you can see it up there. Unit 3, Part 1, Digestion, Animal Structure and Function. So this will cover, well, I mean, ideally we're going to get through this today. Why don't we see? Why don't we see? This is the objective today, is that we're going to cover macronutrients or macromolecules, okay? The big molecules that you take in your diet that are important for metabolism. Again, those are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, or lipids, and water. Okay, the main biological molecules that most things are made out of. Okay, so we're going to start off with like a little lesson about that. Then we're going to get into the structures of the digestive system, what happens where, and what gets digested where. Then we're going to get into more detail on the specific enzymes. So these are the chemicals, they're proteins that your body produces that break down specific macromolecules. So for example, you have 3 enzymes that are responsible for breaking down protein: pepsin, trypsin, and erepsin. Where are they made? What do they break down? What are the products that they make? Okay, so like we're going to get into detail on that. That's the last part of today. Okay, and then I go into detail on all this stuff in the little lesson. So again, that's what we're shooting for. We'll see what happens. The reason we have to do this is because then the next day when you come back, which is, I don't know, October 18th or something? I had to look it up. Far away, okay? So what is today, the 1st? 30th of September, so tomorrow's the 1st. Anyway, it's like midway through October. When you come back, we're going to be probably just jumping into the next system. So we're basically going to spend a day on each system. And then the last part, the last day of this unit, I'm still kind of figuring out how this is going to work. Normally we would do a fetal pig dissection. I don't know of a way to do that in this context. So discussing with the department about doing some kind of a demo dissection or possibly a virtual dissection so that you guys like look at pictures of a dissection, or maybe a video question mark. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, or like what the best strategy is for that. If I do as a demo, for some people that's the best, because it's like, oh, it's actually there. Like I can go and like take a peek at it during your lunch break or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of gross. But the problem with that, doing it live, is that it also has all the worst parts of the dissection, which is that it smells terrible. Also, it is a dead pig. But so for some people, that's the worst part of it. So we could do that. I could do it and just make a video, or you guys could do it virtually. But ideally, I'd like you to actually look inside an animal and like see what these systems look like. That's kind of the point. Okay, so we're going to try and wrap that up on the last day of this unit. So that would mean that we would have to do this unit in 4 days, which means we have to get through digestive system today. So anyway, that's what we're shooting for. I realize they're very busy days. There's a lot of content here, so I'm not going to talk too much right now. I'm going to let you get started in a second. But I just want to show you the general breakdown of what you're going to do. Okay, so there's the live stream for today. The first little lesson here is on macromolecules or macronutrients, the big molecules, like I said, that things are made of inside of your cells. Okay, it follows along with the note. There is, like I said, a summary video here that talks a little bit about metabolism and nutrition. It adds quite a bit of extra information about these macromolecules, what they're used for in the body, and a little bit about micronutrients as well. So like what iron is used for and calcium is used for and things like that. So great information in there, but again, if you're falling behind or like way off timeline here, that would be the part that you would skip, okay? But it is good information. I think it's a great video. So a little bit of work from your textbook to summarize here, okay? You do question 2 on page 405. It involves tracking your diet. So I want you to think about what you ate yesterday. I think it says to track for today, but like it doesn't have to be today, unless you know what you're gonna eat today. But think about your diet. And then you're kind of going to be analyzing it to look at where's the protein in that diet, in the thing that you're eating. Where are the carbohydrates in that diet? Where are the fats coming from in that diet? The macromolecules, the things that you need for metabolism in your body. I refer to Canada's food guide in the video a couple times. Keep in mind that 2 years ago, Canada released a brand new food guide, the new Canada's food guide. And it is much, much better than the old Canada's food guide. So the old Canada's food guide was based on, I don't know. When you look at it, it has, for example, milk products as its own group. Is the stream up again, guys?
I don't think so. They keep texting.
They keep saying no. Oh, someone heard it for a second. Now it is. Okay, fixed. Okie doke. Sorry about that. Okay, where was I exactly 3 minutes ago? Canada's Food Guide? I can't remember where I was. Okay, anyway, check out the new Canada's Food Guide. It's quite good. Try the exit quiz when you're done. It's about 5 questions. They're not summative. Question? Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep going. There is a video of the digestive system. It's a little gross, but it's cool. I recommend you watch it. It follows food through a real person's digestive system. It's not actually a baby. No babies were harmed in the making of this video. Okay, then comes the lesson. I'm going to go through the entire system, talk about structure and function. You'll need the note to go through that. There's a little video on bile that you don't have to watch, but if you want to see what bile actually looks like when it's emulsifying fats, that's available to you. And then there are some questions from the textbook that go along with that. And then there's a little exit quiz for the second part. That's mostly about the structures and what they do. Okay, so that's the main thrust of the second part. Okay, and then the last part here is looking at the digestive enzymes. So specifically, what chemicals, what proteins, enzymes are involved in breaking down fats? What enzymes are involved in breaking down protein? And where are they located in the system? And what do they break it down into? So I do a summary chart at the end. Basically, the knowledge in the summary chart is what you need to know. Okay? And then the last part here, that's in learning block 3. After you do, and there's a little exit quiz. There's no questions or anything from the text for that part. Okay, it's just the lesson part and the little exit quiz. You should add words to your vocabulary list as you go, or you can do it during learning block 3. And then that's your time to sort of finish anything that you don't get done during the day. I will say that people are probably in the process of completing their meiosis live presentation still. I don't think everybody's done. I have 4 of them, I believe. So some people are done, but a lot of people are not. Hopefully you'll have time during learning block 3 if you kind of stay on track throughout the day, ideally. So it all depends on how long the questions take and stuff. So because this stuff is like mostly on your own, like I said, like you're watching these videos on your own, it's more important in this case that you just let me know when you don't understand something, okay? Call me over. Let's talk. Same thing for the people at home. Please type something in the chat. I'll leave it open all day. And if you're like, I don't get this part, I don't get what's happening here, let me know. And if we need to, we'll just jump into a little video conference so that we can chat about it together. Okay. Any questions about what you need to get done today? I realize that that's a lot of stuff. This is going to be a busy day. The last thing I want to mention is the mark reporting cycle is next week. So by October 9th, I believe, is the date. So I've got to get you a mark report of how you're doing by October 9th, which is essentially your midterm mark, question mark, and I need to contact your parents. So I have an email address for most parents because of the survey. Ideally, I'd like to do it through email because I hate playing phone tag with people. Whenever I call home for people, it's always like someone's not there, and then they call me, I'm not here. I call them, they're not there, and then we end up just calling back and forth for a week and I never talk to anybody, which is not really what I want to do here. So if you haven't completed that survey from the beginning of the semester, and there are 6 people, I think, in this class that have not done the survey yet, can you please complete it? Okay. If you know your parents' email address, just complete the survey. Okay. I need to know their contact information so I can send. We're not doing report cards, so there is no actual report card going home. I have to email a progress report to your parents. So please make sure that you complete that. I don't have emails for everybody. That also means that next week sometime you're going to get your midterm mark. Okay. We're going to work on that today. That's one of the reasons I set this up to be sort of self-running. I'm going to attempt to get as much of that done today as possible. So hopefully I'll be able to give you a mark report sooner rather than later. Any questions? We're okay? All right, let me know if you need anything, guys.